Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Arrow. And in my podcast, I always ask or call guests who can give me some information which I don't know or which is out of my area, because I'm an engineer and I am interested in a lot of subjects like history, like astrophysics, already, and many more things. But I also love to celebrate human beings. And today we have a guest, and I found her on LinkedIn, and I am on my personal quest, Alakananda, is that I am searching for the meaning of happiness. I mean, I just started to search for it. And when I looked at your book, by the way, it's a wonderful book, The Little Secrets of Big Joy. So I read it, and I liked the way you wrote this book. I like that every story, even if you don't read the stories and if you just go on the contents, every topic or every headline of that particular story is quite interesting and it is thought provoking. And when I read the first chapter, there was a big surprise at the end. When you were talking to me, you have broken the fourth wall, and it was quite awesome. So, and I said, okay, I have to talk to you. And when I did more research, so you are an author, best-selling author on Amazon. You are an actress. You have acted in movies in, I think, in Bengali, and there is one movie called Shakti. And then also you are a painter. I have seen your paintings also, and then you do a lot of social work, and also you are a super mom, which you proudly have displayed on your website. So it is very nice to meet you, Alakananda. And yeah, please introduce yourself to our viewers here, and tell me your origin story. How did you become what you are right now?
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much, Varun, for inviting me to your podcast. I mean, it's really a pleasure to be here and in conversation with you. So, for everybody, I am Alakananda Pramanik. You have already introduced me. And as whatever you have said, yes, I have. I'm an author. I have acted in a couple of films, and I love painting. I'm not a professional painter or anything, but it just gives me a lot of peace and solace, and like a stress reliever. I am fond of music. I just love music. And apart from all these things, I am also a council member of Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industries of Public Safety and Security Council of West Bengal. So there are a lot of things, I have my fingers in a lot of things, but then I'm absolutely enjoying everything. And apart from all these things, I am, a working professional with an IT company, and I'm in the credit control team. I am taking care, pan India all these years. Only last year I have retired, but I'm continuing because the company wanted me, they didn't want to leave me. So I'm continuing with them, but I'm continuing as a consultant. And it's always a pleasure, I keep myself busy. Now, you asked me a question that how did I become an author? Like, how did this journey start? So,
Yeah.
see, basically, I'm a working professional. So that is where I get my, whatever you say, it's a paid work.
Hmm.
But the rest of this is my passion. And I realized this only probably you can say maybe a decade. So I feel that my rebirth happened only a decade ago. I was going through, I had gone into a kind of a turmoil at that moment. Everybody does in their life, everybody does.
Yeah.
Some just sink and some come out of it. And I think that I'm one of them that who came out of that. I went, there was a tsunami in my life, and I was like, I had gone into a kind of a dark hole of depression, like a whirlpool. I didn't know what's happening, groping, choking, and all. And then of course there are strangers who fly by as God's angels, and they handhold and pull you out of that. And then I don't know where it vanished. It's like definitely angels, maybe they've gone to help somebody else. So that was the time. And that time I was so emotionally down, I was so depressed that I had started writing something really nice and wonderful before all that started. And one day, for whatever reason, my writing got stolen and all that. And, my a lot of things happened, and uh, that was the time when, my emotions, I was
You got frozen. So I paused the word.
okay. So the thing is that when when I started coming out of that, I realized that there was a lot of love around us. People loved me. Everybody loved me. There was a lot of love. I met so many people. I felt that there was so much of sorrow in others more than me, and there was a lot of emotion within me, which I started writing. And I think, and I started writing, and I wrote, and I think my journey as an author started then. I came across this writers platform, Soulitaire, and the founder, Mr. Virat Tuli, virtually he helped me a lot because I hadn't seen him. I met him on LinkedIn too, and he somehow had a belief in me, and he told me, no, ma'am, whatever you are writing, you publish that,
Mhm.
whatever. So my first book, The Soul Stirrer, this is the book. This was my first book, which published in 2020.
Mhm.
And of course, there was a lot of critical acclaim, there was a lot of media coverage, and people started connecting with that because my emotion was reaching them. And I realized that this was it. And then Success Psyche, another platform, they reached out to me and they said that you have a way of telling stories. Why don't you come on board as an expert? And I joined them as a master storyteller, and every week I was churning out stories, and all my stories are real life incidents. Like, there is no no fiction or anything made up. All are real life incidents that must have happened to people around me, to my close ones, to me. And of course, I have used pseudonyms and all that, and uh, each story, I feel each person is a storyteller. We are all storytellers since our childhood. I mean, we have made stories if we don't want to go to school. Right. So we have done that. We have made stories even when we are playing with our doctor set, or our doll set, or whatever it is. So we have that thing in us. But
Mhm.
if storytellers can change the world, they can connect with people. And when I realized that each story, there is always a message behind that. Each story has a moral behind it. So if I can bring that out and reach out to people with the stories, so I started storytelling. And then what happened, people started connecting with me. They started calling me and telling me that your stories are making a positive change in our life. And they started reaching out to me. I felt so good. But then again, when you were saying that we can't find your video, like it's lost between so many videos, because which keeps coming up. And I realized that these people, they need to read my book. And what I did is that I gathered all those stories and I put it in this book, The Little Secrets to Big Joy. And I published it in this year, which became Amazon #1 bestseller. And I was really happy. And of course, it reached out to people. And that's not the end, because my story videos are set, because this book has only 25 stories. But
Mhm.
so far, yes, I have written over 45 now, and it's still going on actually. So this is how my writing journey started, and I found a lot of pleasure. And also, there's one thing, Varun, I feel that, see, like what I told you, that we are all storytellers. And nowadays, if you notice, more and more people are writing stories, coming out with stories, right? Everybody's writing stories. But I felt that if I am writing story, if I have become an author, then what value add I'm doing to the society, you know,
Interesting.
because I will be just like one drop in the ocean. I mean, pada ho gaya khatam, pade the, like, just, but the thing is that what can I do to the society? And I have decided that I will use my rebirth as an author, my words, to reach out to people, to influence people, to bring a positive change in their life. Even if I can make a change in one person's life, I will think that I have done a big thing. It will be like a blessing to me. And it I think it's happening, and I just feel so happy when they come out to me. And also my name, Supermom. How did I get the name Supermom? Because when I started coming out of depression, and I started looking around, I saw people loved me in my office, right from the security guard to the tea boy to my colleagues, my managers, my MD, whoever it is, they all adored me. And I felt that there's so much love. And then I realized that there was so much pain. People were either physically sick, or they needed some emotional support, or mental support, or a shoulder to cry on, a ear to listen to them. I started doing that. And I realized that people say, that serve the needy. But what do you mean by the word needy? Needy doesn't mean that you are financially poor. Isliye garib hai to needy. It's not like that. There are many people who are rich, but they are, uh, they poor by health. They
Mm,
are sick. There are many who are rich, but they are emotionally poor. They are down emotionally.
true.
So if I can do that, and then I have realized there were many youngsters who um, probably found something motherly in me.
Mhm.
So they would come and tell me that, can we call you mom? Can we call you mama? Yes, definitely. In fact, my oldest child right now, she is around 47 or 48 years old. But when she reached out to me and she said that, I know we don't have much age difference between us, but can I request you one thing? I said, yes, can I call you mom? I said, of course you can call me mom, And that's how the word supermom came.
No, it is definitely pretty much.
And this was my journey as well.
It's definitely pretty much very true what you said, that every person has a story to tell. And the way you were telling me about your origin story, I can see that you are a wonderful storyteller. And the the thing which because I have read only this book of yours, The Little Secrets of Joy, and I started it like I start reading any other book. I go through the contents, the what are the name of the chapters, and then I found out it is a collection of short stories. But as I said, the biggest surprise was when you broke the fourth wall at the end of the that every chapter you told about that story. What is your feelings? So
Yes.
when you wrote that story, did you have all those feelings already in your brain, and that's why you wrote that story, or was it vice versa?
See, what happens is that the story was definitely in my mind, because in a way I was also involved. You know, Uh, Let me say the first story about vulnerability. This girl who went through that, she is one of my many children.
Mhm.
Okay. She calls me mom. So this happened with her. And I was very sad for her, of course. And I was the first person she reached out, for financial help, if you have read the book. So in the end, this was the story. The moral came in my mind with the story itself. But many times what happens is that, I have written a story, and I know that because this was about vulnerability, so my message goes about vulnerability. So there are many things. There is one story out here where one of the one of my domestic helps, she was very poor. If you have read the story, dreams, about living the dreams, so it was the advice given to her, and her dream fulfilled. So obviously that message was that anybody can live their dream. The limitations are only in our mind. The limitations are only in our mind. Anybody can live their dreams. And of course, if there is a proper guidance, it definitely helps. So each of my stories, either the story, normally I have the story, and the message comes along with that, because as I'm writing the story, I know that on this topic I need to give the message.
I
Like
see.
if it is parent child, then of course it will be on parenting, and those kind of things.
to be very honest, when I started reading the book, I didn't know it was it was based on true stories. But after, I think, first chapter itself, I thought that maybe this is her personal experiences, that what she wrote about. And kudos to you if when I read all those stories and what you have done, then I start to ask myself a question, is that what is the way you think about things or about other people which is different from mine? Because I am sure, and I am not a very bad person or something, but maybe 80% of the time I wouldn't have involved myself in that particular situation.
Can you repeat this question once again?
My question is that when you wrote, and I found out that or realized that these are based on true stories, and
Yeah.
you have helped people which are not so close to you and which are not
Yes.
your direct relatives or direct friends,
Mhm.
but still you have involved yourself into those situations, helped them out
Yes.
and changed their lives.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if I talk about myself, probably 80% of the time I would have not involved myself, just because, not because I'm a bad person, but because probably I would have think, oh, I have to go to office tomorrow, I don't know if I can give time
Correct.
to this and that. So how
Correct.
did you differentiate yourself from the way other people think? What is that X factor in your thought process which makes you such a
Okay.
wonderful human being?
Okay. See, the thing is that, till a decade ago, life was revolving around my family was my world, children, this, that, growing them up. Of course, now my children have settled, and so all this happened. And then I think this depression, the darkness which happened in my life, the tsunami happened. When I was coming out of that, um, like I told you, I saw many people are not as happy, like their sorrows were worse than mine,
Mm,
right? It can be anything, like I'm working in my office, but I find someone saying, oh, I got a splitting headache, you know it just started with that. And I looked at that person, and I believe a lot in homeopathy medicines. Okay, even when my children went to USA for studies, I had packed a little, arnica and a little small things, thoda sa, nux form, ya ho belladonna, bryon, ya kuch bhi hai. And I had written ki for headache is this, for
mm,
stomach ache. So when I looked at the person, and I thought, oh, if he has this medicine, probably he feel well, so that was the first thought which came in my mind. And what I did is that I wrote a small list, and I got those medicines. I said, किसी को लगेगा तो थोड़ा दे दूंगी, तो मैंने दिया. तो that person felt happy. Okay, तो जब वो ठीक हो गया, so when he got okay, I felt happy. So I felt happy कि अरे मेरे दवाई से वो ठीक हो गया. Next, I saw somebody saying, "Oh, my stomach is bloated. I'm feeling uncomfortable, acidity." So I thought कि उसको बोला कि है मेरे पास एक 4 globules लोगे, it doesn't have side effect. Okay, so he said that हाँ दे दो, so I gave. So he was happy. So इसके बाद किसी को थोड़ा सा बुखार आ रहा है. So what happened when I started giving these, and I realized कि by me doing something, somebody is happy, and that was making me happy. I realized that true happiness is that when you do something for others, when that person is happy, feeling good, that happiness is coming to me because of something that I have done selflessly. If I look for something that wo mere ko kya dega na, then
mm.
my happiness negates. Don't look for what you will get in return. Just do it selflessly, And हम लोग बोलते भी है कि selflessly, but is it really selflessly? Maybe I'm a little selfish because I'm looking for my happiness.
And,
But this selfishness is healthy selfishness. I'm not harming anyone, right? मैं किसी को खुश कर रही हूँ,
yes.
लेकिन unconsciously I'm getting the happiness because that person is happy. फिर जब when I'm trying to help someone, कुछ बोल के, listening to them, consoling them, that person is feeling good. I'm feeling happy कि चलो मेरे बोलने से उसको वो ठीक हो गया और हो गई. That person is happy now. So, gradually I started realizing that all these years when I was thinking that why me, मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों हुआ, that time I was only thinking about myself. So easily I was sad. But the moment my mind got diverted to somebody's sadness, that usko cure kare, he'll feel good or she'll feel good. And when that person started feeling better or brought a smile on the face because of something that I did, and it made me happy, then I realized it is not the inside. Happiness is when you are doing some for somebody and the happiness you are receiving. So that is how it happened. Like, I will tell you one incident that is written in my book, Baby Chickpeas. Okay, I'll just narrate this story. The same during my bad moments. What happens is, normally people, when they are going through a lot of bad moments and all, we normally go to astrologers or we read horoscopes on the Sunday Times and all that. Isme kya likha hai and all that. So at that moment, even I was doing the same thing. And at the Sunday Calcutta Times came, I opened the horoscope section and I read, and it was written that, "Oh, you are going through a very bad time." And I said, "Wow, ye to ekdam sahi bola. I'm going through a bad time." Then it's written there that if you want to come out of that, make 5 packets of chana dal in yellow cloth and mandir mein jaake bhagwan ke pair mein dalo. So all your sorrows will be gone. I was so happy. I said, "Chalo, my solution is right here." Next day I went, I bought 5 packets of that 250 grams of chana dal. I bought a yellow cloth, cut it into 5 pieces. I was ready with 5 bundles. Okay, from tomorrow I'll start, my sorrows will be gone. Just then what happened? One acquaintance, कभी रोज उतना बात नहीं होता है, और काफी रात को around 10 o'clock I got a call from him for some reason. And फिर बाद में बात हुआ था, he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "अरे, like this, I read it in horoscope. I made these 5 bundles of chana dal and tomorrow I'm going to start." So he said that, "So what will happen to the chana dal? You'll put it there. उसका क्या होगा?" I said, I don't know. It's written in the horoscope, so I'll do it." So he says that, "Have you thought whether the chana dal will go to the poor, whether Pandit ji will sell it and take the money, whether he will cook it and all the Pandits eat in the temple, or whether he'll take it home, give it to his wife and say, 'आज कुछ पका के खिलाओ'?" तो मैं बोली, "अरे, ये तो मैंने नहीं सोचा." बोले कि ऐसे क्यों नहीं करते हो? "Go and give it to a poor ना, कम से कम उसको तो पेट में कुछ जाएगा." मैं बोली, "अरे, ये तो ठीक है." फिर मेरे को याद आया, अरे, ओ माय गॉड मूवी में परेश रावल हैड सेड दिस, तब तो हम लोग सब बोले, "अरे, बढ़िया बढ़िया, बहुत अच्छा।" तो अभी मेरे टाइम पे मैं कैसे भूल गई? सो आई सेड कि ठीक है, चलो, अब सोचे थे भगवान के पास ले जाएंगे तो ले ही जाएंगे. आई टुक द आफ्टर ऑफिस, आई वेंट टू द टेम्पल. आरती चल रहा था. आरती के बाद आई टोल्ड गॉड कि बैग में चना दाल है, भगवान प्लीज इसको ब्लेस करो. अभी मैं जाती किसी नीडी को, होमलेस को ढूंढने. बट द टेम्पल वॉज इन अ posh locality. It was Birla Temple. So when I stepped out, there was no poor on the road. It was night. It was cold weather. कोई था भी नहीं रास्ता में. तो मैं सोची कहाँ जाऊँ. तो मैं सोची चलो, let me start walking. And I walked. It came to a crossing, and in the crossing there's a temple. And I saw many homeless sleeping on the footpath. कंबल वंबल ठंडा था. So I went there कि किसी को दे दे. तो एक बुढ़ी old woman was sitting quietly huddled up. तो and two small children playing उधर दूर में. तो I took the bundle out. तो उतना अपना हाथ ऐसा बढ़ाया उसने. I gave it to her. She took it. I went back home. Next day, same thing. Temple, blessing, came back. I know now where to find them, but I couldn't find the old woman. And all the homeless were all covered head to toe, blanket में पूरा सो रहे. अब मैं किसको दूं? देखिए वो ही दोनों बच्चे, they were sitting under a blanket playing. छोटे छोटे, maybe 8 years, 10 years, ऐसा कुछ age है. They were playing. So the moment they looked at me, he smiled at me. He extended his hand. He knew क्योंकि मेरे हाथ में वो बंडल था. तो मैंने वो बच्चे के हाथ में I gave it to the little boy. And I turned. The moment I turned, he called out to me. I heard him. He said, "Didi, आप कल भी आए थे ना?" I said, "Didi, you came yesterday to know." So I said, "हाँ." So he says, "माँ ने दाल बनाया था, बहुत अच्छा लगा." He said, "माँ made dal. I really loved. We really enjoyed the food." You cannot imagine, Varun. I stood there and started crying.
Yeah.
I felt that this is what is blessing from God. Even today, when I think of that story and that moment, it makes me very emotional. And that is where I realized that happiness is for doing for others, doing something for others. jitna bhi, whatever, you don't have to do with money and all that. Chota sa gesture brings a lot of happiness, and you feel so good when you're doing for somebody. And that is how gradually my journey started, that I decided, and then I learned, because I had started reading a lot, and I realized that हम लोग मंदिर जाते हैं, we go to temples, we ring the bell, ये करते हैं, वो करते हैं, उपास करते हैं, we साष्टांग में people are going, roll करते करते रोड पे जा रहे हैं, but divinity resides in everybody, resides in me too, resides in you, resides in everybody. ठीक है, let me go to the temple, it's okay, we need to be hooked to something. But when you serve others selflessly, without looking at your own return and results, when you are helping others, when you are bringing a smile in someone's life, thoda bhi ho, you are actually serving divinity. And unke muh se jab blessing aata hai for you, that smile which comes out, the glow which radiates from their face, that is the blessing that God is giving you. Another thing that we have to remember is that divinity resides in us also. If I have to love myself also, I have to take care of myself. I cannot, not love myself, because if I think bad of myself, if I keep saying, oh, I'm not good at this, I'm not bad, then you are actually hurting divinity within you. And another thing, that if only you love yourself, then you will be able to radiate love to others.
That's correct. I mean, it's good for everything, not just love. I mean, if you are not healthy, you can't help others anyways.
Healthy, you're physically, you should be healthy, mentally you should be healthy, so that you are able to take care of others. Abhi aap plane mein jaoge, when you are going in an aircraft, the first thing the air hostess tells you is that in case of emergency, first you wear the oxygen mask and then you turn around to help others. Why is she saying that? Because you need to first take care of yourself. Only when you are able to take care of yourself, you will be able to take care of others. लेकिन आप दूसरों को लगा रहे हो और अपना सांस फूल रहा है, तो how will you help more people?
No, this is absolutely right. And while you were telling the story, and I realized that your thought process is quite positive, because same thing used to happen to me once upon a time. Now I don't believe in that, but once upon a time I used to believe in horoscope. And if my day was going bad, I used to go to see horoscope on a website. And if the horoscope seems good, then I go and find a website where the horoscope is bad. And then I read my horoscope on the bad website. So I mean, I know it's a sort of stupidity, and
it's human. I think everybody does that. I think whenever we horoscope, but later I realized it's all within us actually.
And also I want to come back to your point on happiness. As I was saying earlier in my introduction,
Yes.
I am searching for happiness. The thing is, I feel good sometimes, I feel bad sometimes. I feel if something I eat, I go out, there is a good feeling in me. But for me, the definition of this word happiness is not so clear, because I think, or it is my notion, that it is a very vast word. It is not just this happiness is not the thing, because when I think about and ask people, because I have asked my previous guests also, they have all different definitions. And what I have realized, that everyone looks at this word happiness very differently. And at the end of the day, each and every human being in this planet is going after happiness, working for happiness, breaking his or her back for happiness, sacrificing for happiness. And so this word is not very small. So I want to ask you, what do you mean when you say this word happiness? Can you define it?
See, I have so far, whatever I have said is about happiness itself. Okay. See, happiness, when we do something, for example, we have say, for example, I've done a painting, and I feel very happy that it has come out so well, Yeah, so I have written something, I have cooked something, the food has come out well, बहुत अच्छा लगा, happy लगा, these are ऊपर, इसके बाद so it's finished. लेकिन as I have also been telling till now, is for me, happiness is when I see somebody else happy because of what I have done for them. And that is happiness for me, and I don't expect anything in return because Bhagwan ne mere ko diya hai. He is giving. I know God is giving, he is watching. I don't need anything, if for example agar kisi ko kuch chahiye, any help from me, I will just give it, whether it is financial, and I know that it is genuine. Okay, I know that it is genuine, I will definitely help. And either way also, I even I, if anybody comes to me, I am always there. I try to do whatever I can to whoever comes to me, because I feel that doing something for others, like I have said earlier also, bringing a happiness in their life, maybe bringing a smile in their life, helping them in any way that is within my capability, within my capacity. If I can do that for them, then that makes me really happy. That night I sleep well, because मुझे लगता है कि आज because of me somebody is also sleeping well, without much concern in their mind. So that is something that I really feel very, very deeply within myself, whether it is online or offline, I feel really nice that if I can be of something to someone, thoda sa bhi, because that is the purpose of my being here now, why has God placed me here, it has to be worth it, so that is the reason for me, that is happiness actually. I'll tell you, when I do something for someone and I find them smiling, I find that something positive has happened in their life, for me, that is happiness. दूसरे के लिए करो, that is a happiness for me.
That's why I got drawn to your book.
That is deep happiness, not superficial, within yourself that I'm satisfied, कि कोई खुश है मेरे लिए.
I also get that feeling, but I don't know. For me, I believe, I mean, I don't know if it is true or not, but I believe that probably happiness, I am striving for a moment in my life where my mind is always happy. And I think that might be the true happiness. But when while I was thinking that, then only I got in touch with your book, or I got to know about your book. And its title was The Little Secrets of Too Big Joy. And that was another like a sort of blow to me, or a pinprick in my mind. This can also be true. And that's why I immediately bought it and started reading it immediately. Let me see. And it was wonderful. And as I was saying before, the titles are also thought provoking. Even if you don't read the story first, you just buy the title, you can get a lot of information. And in between, when you have given the quotes by yourself, they were quite wonderful, and some of them are quite thought provoking also. And wonderful book, and I liked it too much. And I will also tell my friends that please read it, and the viewers here should read it also.
And
yeah, continue.
No, so what I was saying is that my book is not only about kindness and about self-care and about mental health, that it has emotional, spiritual strength also, but I have also touched on the environmental issues also in that. Parental, even environmental issues, because that is a big issue right now that we all are facing and experiencing. So it has some chapters on environment and stories, definitely related to stories like Mumbai flood.
Yeah.
So that is also a story, because my daughter was stranded because of that Mumbai flood, and she was coming back from school. So with that story, it goes into of course, that story is how people selflessly, about national integration, how people selflessly help each other. And there are other stories about the pollution in Delhi, So the pollution and about the earth and about the how that our need to take care of this environment is so important. So my book has kind of all the
Yeah,
aspects.
all, yeah. And um, when after finishing your book, I was thinking about uh, why would you have written your own views after the end of the story? What was your main motive behind that?
Okay, that was to there is, like I said, that every story has a message. There is
Hmm.
always a moral behind every story. So people relate because these stories are real stories. There people connect to that emotionally
Hmm.
because people connect to that emotionally and they say, कि, अच्छा ये मेरे साथ भी और this has happened with me. हाँ, all that. Now, what is the message behind that? That moral I want to reach out to people. Ki, see, this is the thing, but this is the moral. Don't do this. This is what is right. So in future, you be aware of these other things, like for example, vulnerability. We are all vulnerable in some point or the other, you know. So that girl was vulnerable. So the message to others is because many must have faced this. बहुत जनों के साथ हुआ है. People are making use of the predators wait for them. कि
Hmm.
vulnerability उसमें hit करो. So they have to be told, that be aware of what you are vulnerable and how you will know that somebody is approaching you and trying to attack you. You know, and you should be aware of that. Another thing is. About this thing, even people crossing their path, there is about kindness. So even people crossing their path, what is the reason behind that? Sometimes what happens is that we are going through a bad time in the sense kisi ne kuch bola hai, somebody has hurt us, somebody is really talking badly with us, misbehaving with us and all these things. At that moment we don't realize, we think that why is this person doing this, but later on when we sit back and then we think, we realize that ki jo hua acha hua, because I have learned a lesson from that and I have emerged and I'm doing better because of that. Then the gift of gestures also out here.
Hmm.
So it is like telling people that this is the story, they relate it very easily, emotionally, and then the message that okay, this is the right thing, this is what you should think about, this is what you should be aware about, this is what is the moral of this story. So kal ko if they face that kind of a situation, they'll know that what they have to do.
Yeah, after certain chapters, I was looking forward to what you have written, because sometimes your views about that particular stories are a little bit different from what mine are, and I like
Okay.
the way you think, and you have a beautiful mind. So that's what
Thank you.
I was.
Yeah, and of course there can be a different message also to that. The reader can again understand from that कि अच्छा नहीं ये message नहीं होना चाहिए, शायद ये होना चाहिए. So
Hmm.
that means they are thinking and working on that. So it is like you are developing yourself also.
Yeah, absolutely. And now I have one more question. When I was looking about you, that you do so many things, and when you said that you do all of these things because of passion, first question, which is very basic question and probably would have a very simple answer: how do you make time for everything?
Okay, that many people have asked me, and even I'm amazed at how I make time, but it just happens. Probably, what my normal habit is like, the previous night, I kind of already decide about the next day कि मेरे को ये करना है. Of course office hours is office hours, okay, so the my passion goes to the rest of the hours. So I say कि okay मेरे को सुबह उठ के okay I'll do. So I basically close my eyes and I actually visualize the entire next day, कि ये time से ये time, this, office hours this lunch time this. जैसे office खत्म हो गया, I go for a walk. So when I go for a walk. During my walking time, I catch up with friends and family. So headphone lagaya and I'm talking and I'm walking. So mera wo do cheez ho gaya. Then I know that I come back and have dinner and then I have to do this. And if I'm painting, then I know that I'll paint this, then usko 2 दिन लगेंगे सूखने के लिए and all these things. So somehow all these things kind of I try to finish it whatever I have planned on that day. So that's how I go. And also my one last dream, I mean, I always say it's my last dream, but I don't know, maybe some other dream might come in after that, is to learn to play the guitar. Okay, now for me, age is just a number. Age doesn't matter, and since I've already told you that I have retired, so you will
Mm.
already guess my age, right? So now I have stepped into 60. I completed 59 years in August, and I've stepped into 60. But for me, age is just a number. I don't care about that. I have always been passionate about guitar. Guitar ka sound suna to I go crazy, even at this age. So मेरे को लगा कि नहीं, before I leave my this earth, I must learn to play the guitar. And so I have bought a guitar, and then I have completed 3 classes, online
Mm.
classes. And yeah, thoda ungli, my fingers are a little sore, but it's okay, because this time when I play the guitar, I said, if I can take so much pain
Mm.
and then emerge as a woman, so ungli ka pain is what is there, I will bear that also. I have to learn. So I've started learning the guitar also. So kabhi raat ko 12 baje I'm like kind of practicing, because that is
Mm.
the time I got to strum those 4 chords, like those 6 chords. so so that's how, I think probably because I plan the previous day of what I should do, maybe not only the previous day, maybe for the week कि मेरे को story publish करना है, मेरा daily का post क्या लिखना है, and I have to do the recording of that. So kind of I like, the moment my office work is over, and if I'm walking and if I'm not talking, my mind starts working that I have to write this, so this I will write that way and all. And the moment I come home, I quickly freshen up and I finish writing. I take my tripod out, and then I quickly do the recording, and then I send it, like, so it's like everything is just going back to back, back to back, back to back. And I don't get time to watch TV and all that, so I don't watch TV, because first of all, I think news and all, it really brings a lot of
Absolutely.
uh,
Negativity in my.
negativity. हाँ, so morning is the moment I wake up, मैं भजन लगा देती हूँ, गायत्री मंत्र लगा देती हूँ, and all my work starts. After that, 1-1.5 घंटा that goes on, and then I love music. Yes,
Mm.
I'll tell you, when I get music, then I can do any work without even feeling tired and all, and a whole day till the end of the day, I feel very energetic, because I simply love music. But morning 1.5-2 hours is kept for Gayatri Mantra, Bhajan, and all these things. Utne ke baad hi. Fir iske baad that thing totally changes to English, Hindi, and all kind of, my full favorite starts playing one after the other. And I just love music. I want music in everything, whether I'm driving the car, whether I'm cooking, whether I'm working, painting, anything. So that's what, that's how that's how everything just happens. I don't know how 24 hours, it just happens. Sometimes even it surprises me.
I think I know, because at the beginning you said that you are quite passionate about these things, and I think when someone is passionate about something, right, the level of energy comes automatically. You don't have to work for it. Even if you are hungry and if you have worked whole day in the office in 9 to 5 job, still you have energy because you are passionate about it. And when you said that you start playing guitar at 12 o'clock in midnight, yeah, it happens to everyone. Some people cannot put the book down because it is so interesting and they are passionate about reading and reading new stories.
Yeah.
So and how, when I ask you about this, then I had in mind that since you have a lot of work, you have so many passions, you are planning everything, how do you get energy, like real energy, physical energy?
See, morning, let me tell you, see, my fitness routine is not very extensive or anything, but ek to hai ki the first thing in the morning, what I do is have that, warm water, nimbu pani, ginger, boil karke and all that. That is there. And then I go to the gym maybe for half an hour, not jada, but little on the tread and this, that and all. Iske baad I come. So that is thing. And evening I go for a walk, sometimes 45 minutes or something. That is the time when I catch up with everyone. Music gives me a lot of energy. music just gives me a lot of energy. I think I attribute a lot of my energy to music. And also I think in my genes, because I have seen my mother very energetic. I've seen my grandmother very energetic. They were also very passionate about a lot of stuff. And I have grown up seeing them pursue their passion and their dreams and all that. So I think a lot of inspiration I gather from them also. And I don't know. I have never felt tired actually that way. Only if I'm mentally stressed, that day I feel a little tired. But when I'm doing all these things, there is no time to think of what is bothering my mind, because always some solution comes out. I think because what happened is that probably it just because of what do you say, practice makes a person perfect, like they say.
Mm.
पहले पहले जब challenges आते थे, when I used to be challenged or something, that time I used to keep thinking of the challenge, problem. So what happened is that I realized later on that because I concentrate so much on the problem, I'm getting more problem from the universe.
Mm.
So what I started shifting my mindset. And whenever there is a challenge, immediately my mind goes into what is the solution. And I start thinking of, okay, jo bhi solution, and my mind starts thinking of solution. And the more I start thinking of solution, the more solutions I get. So I'm able to face that challenge because of the solutions which starts coming in, because the mind is very powerful. So and because of that, my stress level also comes down quite a bit actually.
I also think that it is not me actually. There was one guest a few weeks back, and she told me that how much you take care of yourself, how much you try to stay positive by yourself, you get energy from people around you too. And if you are surrounded by positive people who are loving in nature and who give you all the support, then you automatically feel more energetic. Otherwise, if people are negative around you, you drain your energy without even knowing. Even if you don't talk to them, your energy goes away. So probably that's also the reason. And
What she said is also very right, because you draw a lot of negativity from people around you. But I think there's also a reason here with me is that because my husband is here, my children are not here, and my whatever I'm doing, my husband is like, he doesn't object or anything. He's busy with his own thing. So in my house is that. And my friend circle, what she said, yes, they are very encouraging, my sisters, my children. So I think a lot of energy comes from that. She's right about that too. But right now physically it's just me and my husband. I don't see any negativity otherwise.
yeah, no, because
and wonderful friends, and of course well wishers, fan followers. I'm really happy. And my children around,
mm,
my children around they
yeah,
give me a lot of energy too. Yes, my so many children.
and
The
and
super mom ka.
constant feedback from people who you have helped and who are now part of your life or part of your
Yes,
journey, that maybe you have a constant high on your brain that okay,
yes, I
this is my
think
basis.
so. It's quite true. Although not that we talk to them, I talk to them every day, or they connect with me every day, because they also have their
Mm,
life. Everybody is growing, they have their life. But I know there is a lot of positive vibe probably which comes.
yep. Now my next thing is that uh, since you said that you worked in corporate job and you are an author, how did you get into acting profession also?
In
In acting profession, how did you?
okay, so when I was emerging, actually, I realized that ये भी करते हैं, थोड़ा वो भी करते हैं. So I started there was a photographer, upcoming photographer. So he clicked me for human expression and emotion. Okay. So that was the first experience when I kind of had this photography session with him, where he would say, okay, now cry or laugh or sad or smile or whatever it is. So when I did that, I realized that, acha, I can, I do have that expressions and I can do this, so this photo session. So you can say as a, I won't say as a model or anything, but whatever, photography, whatever he did. Okay. फिर इसके बाद I realized that we all have potential in us. We all have. The limitations are only in our mind. So I thought कि क्यों नहीं ये भी try करते. I'll probably not reach that high, लेकिन कहीं तो पहुंचेंगे. So when this offer came, there was somebody who was looking for a mother's role in her film, and whatever age group डाला था उसने. So I reached out to her and I said that, okay, I fall in that age group, but I have not acted, So she says, then she said, anyway, then not a, but then she says, but you don't look like that age group, because I don't look my age. So then she was in a dilemma ki kya karna hai and all that. But anyway, she took me for that role, and that was the Bengali film. Okay. And then she was very happy. And after that, when the next film she did, she says that, I want you in all my films. So I said, okay, that's very good. So in the next film, I again became a mother, but of this girl who's harassed by a local goon, So this was, so that is how gradually I went into acting. And then last year when Litroma also had a this thing, short film carnival and contest. They had some actors and some personalities from Tollywood to judge the short film carnival contest. That time they judged me as the best female actor, category. So it really boosted my thing, because I never, it is just that I tried the waters, keep देखते हैं कि what can I do, and then I realized that okay, I can do this also. So that is when I realized that we have limitations in our mind. We all have potential to do things, लेकिन the moment we bring doubt in our mind कि मेरे से नहीं होगा, मैंने तो कभी किया नहीं, पर what if, when you bring this what if, then the obstacle comes in. But if you just let go of that, कि करके तो देखते हैं, let me do, let me see, and you will do it. And that's how I got into this acting thing also. In fact, I'm working on another 2 films, which is we are working on abhi uska script वगैरह चल रहा है. So I'll be acting in that also. Let's see, the shooting will probably happen in January, not now, because there's a lot of things which happens before, now casting and all these things and stuff. So maybe I'll act in that, and most probably I'll be co-producing also that film. So I'm just trying. And it is going to be a very good one also.
I have noticed something about you, that by chance or by sheer need of exploration, you find something and then you immerse yourself in that particular thing quite a lot and then excel in it. Right, like that person who told you to write a book. Now you have two books already out who are Amazon bestsellers, and now this acting thing, and the third one is already on the way. So yeah.
Actually 2 books is solo book, but I have co-authored in almost 11 books more.
I see.
So almost 11 books I've co-authored in. 2 books are my solo books. And in the Shining Divas, like last year, I was one of the 7 Shining Divas of 2020. So then my biography was printed. My biography got published. Journey, this one. Journey, Memoir of an Emerged Woman. That's my biography. So my biography got published last year, being one of the Shining Divas of 2020. So a lot of things actually, coronavirus, this pandemic situation gave a lot of time. See, people always complained earlier, time nahi milta, we are not getting time, we are so busy, hectic, traffic, office, ghar, ye, wo. Everybody is complaining, no time, nobody has time for their parents, nobody has time for children and all. All of a sudden, universe listened to their complaint and gifted them 24 hours in a platter and said, take your 24 hours and do what you want to do. And then suddenly everybody is like, oh, what am I going to do? Office nahi jana ho raha hai, this nahi, that nahi, and all that. People still continued complaining. There are many who made the most of that time, because you are saving time and traffic. Takes some people, it takes 3-4 hours. You are saving that time. You are in the house. And that is the opportunity which I took, the moment it happened, a couple of days, I was a little, this thing, and then the moment I said, this is the moment, I can't let it go, this is a gift to me, this time, so make the most of it. And that is what I did.
You were saying that you don't allow doubts to come into your mind, like what if, and so on and so forth. Uh, how did you made yourself to get away from these type of thoughts, or do they even come in your mind? And if yes, then how do you keep away from them?
See, how did I let go of that? When I was emerging, I had started following lot of people. I would listen to them. There was something which had popped up on Facebook at that time, so many years back, law of attraction.
Hmm.
Okay, a page or something. So they'll keep having some posts out there. So I started reading those posts. Then I started listening to their videos and all that, and there it is. There they would keep saying that not to bring these doubts in your mind, and you feel the moment, you imagine the outcome, that this is what I want, and imagine that you've already got it and start feeling about it at the moment.
Hmm.
So that time when I was trying to do that, it just felt so superficial, because deep within me I was feeling so negative, and I was trying to push that positivity inside me ki nahi, acha socho. So that positivity was also feeling like a toxic thing, because when does positivity become toxic? When you are grieving, when you are sad, when you are in pain, and people keep saying think positive, and you want to think, are you really thinking positive, or you're just imagining the spelling of positive? Yo,
Hmm.
as a I'm a positive thinker, you positive. Like in your mind, you are not. That positivity is like toxic, So if you're going through pain, go through that pain. If you're feeling like crying, cry it out. Your mind will get tired of all that negativity one day, and then automatically the positivity will start coming into you. So that was the time when I started reading. I started reading a lot of law of attraction and a lot of those kind of books, and I started listening to videos, and I started to think and imagine. When any doubt would come, I would try to move it away, but it would keep coming, Then gradually I realized I was kind of, because I was pushing myself towards thinking and feeling, removing the doubt, gradually they started moving away. And I realized that, for example, say I bought a small studio apartment. So when I bought that, I had that kind of an image in my mind ki apartment aisa hona chahiye, usme there should be so many light, there should be a wall here, that whatever I had imagined, you cannot imagine. When I didn't even know, when I went and that builder took me to that, the moment I entered, and I was like, oh god, I think I had imagined this in my mind, that time I realized that what I was reading in law of attraction and what I was listening to many people's videos and all is actually true, because this is what even I had thought, and this is what I got, So that was the first step. I realized that ye hota hai, this is true. And so gradually I started pushing these things out of my mind, and I started working on um, uh, uh, my thoughts, what I want. And then I realized that dreams do come true only if I move these things. But it's not an overnight thing. Let me tell you, it doesn't happen overnight. You have to accept that you have to face obstacles, you have to face struggles, thoughts will come in your mind, but you have to believe in yourself कि चाहे कुछ हो जाए, I will be able to do it. मेरे से होगा ये. And that belief is very important, because if we have a cloud of self-doubt, if we have a cloud of apprehension, then it gets very difficult. We have to believe in ourselves. We have to know that struggles happen in life. We have to know that obstacles do come. We have to know that things don't happen overnight. It takes time. And you have to believe in ourselves, believe in our potential, believe in our capabilities, in our capacities. We have to push past all these things, and you will see that things will happen. They're bound to happen, because it has happened with me.
And do
So
you
I can tell you this.
and do you think that this is because you have this type of thinking in your mind, because I have a few acquaintances or friends also that who are sort of under depression. And when I say, I mean, I know it would sound stupid, but I say stay positive, try to think positive. But instead of helping them, they become even more frustrated and probably sometimes even angry that, do you think it is
To
possible to be
karo.
positive? So
Yes, yes. I can understand what you're saying, and I can understand them too, because it has happened with me also. Like I told you just now, that because you are telling them think positive, do positive, that positivity is, they are feeling that positivity as toxic to them. Wo positivity they are feeling because their mind is not still out of that negative feeling.
mm,
So they have to get out of that, you know. So instead of saying ki, do positive, encourage them to do what they love to do. उनको अगर कुछ passion है, maybe they love singing, या तो they like doodling or whatever it is, या तो उनको poem लिखना है, तो tell them that bring out the emotion, bring out the emotion. White canvas दे दो, paint दे दो. You don't have to be a professional painter to do painting. Just give. I'm not a professional painter, but then one day I thought कि school time में, you know, like parents होता था कि summer holidays में ये class भेज दिया, वो class भेज दिया,
mm.
कोई painting class में भेज दिया ऐसा. So somebody told me that why don't you paint? So, Baba, paint, ठीक है, why not? तो फिर I went into Google, I checked कि oil paint के लिए वो क्या क्या चाहिए, canvas चाहिए, linseed oil, turpentine है, ये सब सारा मैंने लिखा, what brush, number सारा लिखा. I took that list to star marks here, and मैंने वो list मिला के खरीदा. Then I bought an easel, then I placed the canvas. I'm not a thing, but I started, and the moment the colors start coming on the white canvas, you start feeling so good. It is not that everything has to be perfect shape. It is the beauty of colors which come on that white canvas, you know. And when you are doing that, the mind automatically, you will see, gets focused. It's a kind of meditation. लोग बोलते कि meditate, सांस लो, यहाँ देखो, वहाँ देखो. The thing is that every time you don't have to sit straight and concentrate on breathing. For many people, it gets difficult because the mind keeps wandering. You are
Mm.
not able to concentrate on your breathing. But there are many ways to be meditate. Take a canvas and start painting. You know, when your total focus is on that, you will forget the surrounding automatically, and you'll start feeling a lot of relief. The stress starts going. You in fact probably start getting the solutions also after that. Or if you have a little garden or you have plants, start tending to that, you know. That itself, you know, and once you get so involved with nature or something that you like to do, automatically you will see that negativity will go and a positive feeling will start coming in. So instead of किसी को बार बार बोलो अरे think positive, वो भी बोलेगा अरे भागो यार, मेरे को तो पॉजिटिविटी बड़ा टॉक्सिक लग रहा है. बट इंस्टेड एनकरेज किया, अरे देखो ये अच्छा लगता है, चल ये लिखते हैं, या तो लेट अस गो देयर, और या तो व्हाई डोंट यू राइट दिस, और यू नो हेल्प मी डू दिस, you know. So something, you know, just try to draw them into something so that their mind starts going out of that negativity and focuses on something else.
One thing I noticed, as I also said before, in all your stories of maybe it writing, acting, or now painting, somebody somewhere told you that why don't you do it? Somebody encouraged you, and
Yes. There is, and I call them God's angels.
yeah, and that's what I'm thinking, that most of the people do not have that. Those people who nudge them towards something which they have inherently, and people don't pay attention to others passions like some people did to you. And I am very glad that first of all you are lucky that you have those angels, and then I am even more inspired by you that you pursued them, and now you are sort of excelling in passions who you picked up just because someone said at one time in your life. And this is quite amazing.
No, that is what you will have to, you know, draw your friends who are into depression into doing something, or you can tell them, hey, I'm doing this, I need your help, you are really good in doing this, can you help me? Like, you know, child, you don't need it, but just weave around that, and you know, just tell them, you know, maybe you know that they are good in that, so just tell them. So what will happen, their mind will gradually start getting diverted.
Mm,
That's how. So that is what, you know, I'll just show you, like Then somebody, this Litroma itself, they, reached out to me and they said that, we are coming up with notebooks, that we want to sell to this thing, whoever, like, if anybody wants to take it as gift, or maybe students love to buy or to write and all that. So, especially fine arts students and all these people. So they said that, why don't you use your paintings that you have done as the cover of the diaries, So I said, no, not a bad idea. So then, see, I have just got these, like, that's my painting. So this is the diary, like, so they said, just leave it as blank page so that students who want to doodle or something, they can have it as a blank page, So like this.
Yeah.
They're all my paintings.
By the way, all her paintings
Tell
are
me.
on her website. So I will put her
Yes.
website's link in the description and you can check out her paintings. And these are just 3. There are many more in the website. So what else are your plans, or has anybody told you something new apart from guitar? I think you picked up guitar recently. Apart from that,
Guitar, I've always been very passionate about guitar. And then when I was in 10th standard, also my dad bought me a guitar. बहुत धूम से खरीदा, but the moment my finger started cutting, I stopped playing because I was so scared of the pain. But over the years, I have learned that pain is very important in our life to succeed. Pain ho, kuch bhi ho, when things pull you back, then you move ahead faster. Like, for example, think of the bow and arrow example. The bow is pulled back. The more it goes back, the furthest it goes. You just don't take the arrow and throw like that. It will not go far. So success in life, if it is easy, then it is no success at all. But if there has been failures, then you will understand the value of success. They are like, they complement each other. Till death do us part. Without failure, you will not know success. Success won't come without failure, So things happen, and I realize that when things happen in our life, there is always a silver lining around it. There is always something positive. When things happen in our life, they happen for a reason, and the reason is always for your better. So when things happen in our life, nowadays, when anything happens in my life, I don't say that, why did this happen? Kyun mere saath hua? Now I don't say that at all. Jab kuch hota hai na bura, so I think that, chalo, I think that this was supposed to happen. Maybe there is something better. Shayad kuch better hai, isiliye this has happened, and I'm waiting for that better to happen, and it happens.
Yeah, जो होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है.
जो होता है अच्छे के लिए. So abhi, so that is what. So I just feel that, when any pain comes in our life, just embrace it and take it and work around it. Then only you will be able to move much more faster. Don't think of the pain. जितना आप सोचोगे pain के बारे में, आपको उतना pain मिलेगा. You will, the more you think of sorrows, you will get more pain, sorrow. But think of, okay, this has happened. Okay, let me take this because I know there is something better coming after that. It's bound to happen. Look at the wave. नीचे जो जाता है वो तो ऊपर आएगा ही. You are not going to be down there all the time.
मैंने भी personally notice किया है because ये podcast, as you said, I started it during Corona times in 2020, and sometimes not now, but maybe a few months back, ऐसा thought आता था दिमाग में कि पता नहीं मैं कर पाऊंगा कि नहीं, पता नहीं मैं इतना समय टाइम दे पाऊंगा कि नहीं, मैं दिखता कैसा होऊंगा स्क्रीन पे, आई डोंट नो, एंड ये सब डाउट्स आते थे. बट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे, नेक्स्ट डे जब व्हेन आई वेक अप, आई थिंक दैट, well, at the end of the day, I am getting something out of it. Today I still continuing with that to it is, I don't think, 23rd 24th episode, and I get to talk to you, and from where I started. And if someone sees that I am talking to you and getting some having this conversation with you, they won't believe it. Even I won't believe it at that time. So you're right that failure is happening, but self-doubt is our biggest enemy, I guess.
Yes, see, you guessed it now, right? Abhi, see, even you are realizing.
Yeah,
that's self-doubt. But the moment you break through that, just come out of that bubble. And we have to understand कि doubts आते हैं. After all, we are human, yaar. We are not gods.
Mm,
But we need to work around it. We have to come out of that. And our mind is very powerful. What we think, we get. And let me tell you one thing about this. What we think, we get. That is the reason. Don't think bad of others. Because when you are thinking bad of someone, that someone is probably doing his own stuff. But you are thinking bad of that person. उसको कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. Who is thinking? किसके mind में? आपके mind में.
yes.
Bad आपको होगा. That is the thing. That's why जो कितना भी बुरा हो, wish good for that person. क्योंकि good तो आप ही को आएगा, क्योंकि you are
Mm,
thinking good for that person. And we are conscious. We are all universally. Our conscious is universally connected. You know. So what I think for you will come to me. So always think good for others. चाहे वो कितना भी बुरा हो ना, let it be.
I think this is the best way also to avoid unnecessary confrontations, unnecessary arguments, unnecessary
Yes.
fights, and we don't need it in
क्योंकि
our life.
उसको that person, there is karma. There is karma. That person will face it in this life only and go. ऐसा नहीं कि वो मरेगा और next life में होगा. तो karma जो है ना, people have to face it in this life. If I have gone through something bad in this life, that means it must have been my karma. Maybe I have done something sometimes जो I probably don't realize or remember. Maybe मेरे को उसका कर्मा था, मेरे को मैंने भुगत लिया. Now I have come out of it and I realized what is it. This it happens with everyone. That's life, yeah. That's life. We are humans, होता है. But we have to be conscious human. We have to change our mindset. We have to understand that not to find happiness on somebody else's sorrow and pain.
Absolutely. I mean, at
Yeah,
the end of the day, as वो हमेशा से कहा जाता है, खाली हाथ आए थे खाली हाथ जाएंगे. एक्सपीरियंसेस लेके
बिल्कुल.
जाना, और क्यों खराब एक्सपीरियंसेस लेना जब हमको अच्छे एक्सपीरियंस मिल रहे हैं.
करेक्ट, करेक्ट. क्योंकि आप जब जाओगे तो लोग तो उतना ही याद रखेंगे कि what you did and how you connected with them and what. So it really matters. Life change, और change आ गया. Earlier my family was my world. Now the world has become my family, and I feel so good about that. I'm happy. God's been kind. My children are also well settled. I have 5 grandchildren.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, at the end, do you have anything else to tell my viewers before we close this podcast?
Yes, definitely. I will want to tell all the viewers that nothing is impossible in life. Limitations are only in our mind. Dreams do come true. So dream big. If you have any cloud of apprehension, self-doubt, anything, push past it. And you have to understand that dreams come true. You have to believe in yourself, believe in your potential, believe in your capabilities. You will be able to do it. And be kind, empathetic. I think COVID has taught many of us all these things. Now we have understood. And be kind to the environment. It is so important. Let us all plant trees. Let us take care of this nature, because we are thinking, we have to think of our children, our next generation and all. So let us be kind to each other and the planet, and dreams do come true. So all the best to everyone, and thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you, Alakananda. And before closing, can you tell them where they can find you if they want to get in touch with you?
Yeah, sure. You can check my website, which is www.authoralak.com. ALAK. authoralak.com. You will find me, and the contact page will have my email ID and my phone number. All my work is in the website. You can read my books there, and you can reach out to me through my email and phone number. And thank you so much. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter too.
So thank you, Alakananda, and thank you, viewers, for watching this podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe, and watch and follow Alakananda Pramanik on her website, on LinkedIn, and she posts a lot of good content, and you will get at least your morning 5 minutes of motivation by reading her content. So it is awesome. And thank you once again, and let's talk someday in future again.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.